Welcome back, peeps. Feeling kind of like a hobo today in my junk shirt and with my junk hair and my junk attitude. It's time to get back at it. So, we are now in peacetime. We are living back at home now. And we have opened up a print shop as a cover because this frickin' Felipe a-hole dude is controlling our lives, threatening our sister, and our brother and mother and father too, but we're out of options. So we're going to have to play nice for a little bit. But as you guys have seen on the timeline, I forget where the timeline is. Yeah, I forget where the timeline is, but we've got a big, long timeline and whatnot. Where we're at right now at 20 years old is about in the middle of the timeline. And then at the end of the timeline, there's something called a revolt. So really, I'm just thinking we probably have to get to that point, get to the revolt with just enough power and just enough ability that we can do something. So in the meantime, I'm going to try to be aiming to increase my fighting skills because I feel like I might need those, and I'm pretty weak in battle right now. Yeah, I'm weak in battle at the moment. So I at least want to be a mediocre fighter. I'd love to be a seasoned warrior, but I don't think that I'm going to be that. Alright, the past few weeks in Anazote resemble your first years in the capital when you and Sophia were recruiting people to join the Lotless. You were so full of hope and ambition back then. Slowly, you begin to make useful friends and acquaintances in the city, and street peddlers, merchants, laborers, vagrants, and each of them requires a unique approach. The techniques you used in Eterno work here as well. You look for the people you need, plan secret meetings, and make sure everything is secure. Sophia delivers one ardent speech after another, berating the Imperial Order. But so far, only a few people have stayed with you after these meetings. You have to hunt for each new member all over the cities. Commoners are too afraid. Only the most desperate or insane are ready to join you. There are two members in particular who stand out. One is Father Fuad. You look like Jack Black had a few too many bad days in a row. He introduces himself. He's a creaky old priest. Interesting. He introduces himself as a commoner who has chosen the preacher's life. Interesting. Does that mean he's a new believer? Fuad scoffs at the question. Oh no. I'm gonna have to come up with a voice from. Hey, I'll put it this way: it's only the only words that are true are those twins tell you themselves. I've heard their voice plenty. But the priests who just cook up some nonsense and call it divine law, they're either crooks or fools, all of them. And Isatias is the biggest crook and fool of them all. Had he lived in any other city in the Empire, he would have already been burned at the stake for these words. But here in Anazote, Fuad freely preaches in various taverns and squares. Moreover, the old man is well educated, so you hire him as a typesetter and even let him sleep in the storeroom. It's supposed to be what we do for Gloria, so she gets out from underneath the funds. Every time I talk about trying to save Gloria, it comes across as something sexual, and I'm not trying to do that. Okay, God, I'll stop. No more dumb jokes. When the time comes to assemble a mob or spread some rumors, he will surely come in handy. Cool. The other is Aleda Siren. Siren, that's a familiar name, who works at the print shop as a bookbinder. A quiet, innocuous young woman, she nevertheless believes in your words and your struggle with all her heart, and her innocent appearance hides an ardent will. Why would she choose to fight against the Empire? When Alida explains, you do not expect to hear cold steel in her voice. My sister was hanged in Eterna after the trial of the 50. I know it might sound like a weepy little... Oh! Wait, didn't we save you? but I'm not looking for pity. I just want her murderers to hang. That's it. Sophia's speech, she looks like a creep. She looks like a 40-year-old woman, and we're supposed to believe that she's my age of 20. She speaks out against the injustice of the Empire and calls for people to pass on, calls for people to fight with such intensity that sometimes you find yourself getting swept up by her words, nodding along with the rest. When she speaks, Felipe's plans in the secret chancellery disappear, replaced by a vision of a new world where justice and freedom reign. See, here's the thing. We know about him now. We can build up enough. We've proven this illusion passes every time, and when it does, the truth about your conspiracy always feels more crushing than ever. Yeah! You gave all of your employees a day off today. Sir Felipe El Ferro is coming to Anazote. Your print shop is the first place he will visit. Hopefully we're making a penny or two, because we ain't got no money. Sophia stuffs tobacco in her pipe and over again, trying to look calm behind the smoke. You hear the sound of hooves and wheels on the cobblestones. A carriage comes to a halt outside, and a man walks past the windows and knocks on the heavy front door with the handle of his cane. You open it hurriedly. Felipe is not alone. He is accompanied by a man with sinewy arms and the face of a predator. Once inside the secret chancellery, the advisor slowly takes off his cloak and inspects the premises with care. Sophia was right. Excellent choice. Well done, Brante. I had my doubts about you, but those doubts are gradually being eased. You are indeed a man of many talents. This will improve our relationship with him, which gives me time to double-cross him. Speaking of talents, allow me to introduce you to Oliver Moss, an old friend of mine. I brought him all the way from Eterna to help you out. His skills are even more unusual than yours, Brante. It's amazing how much a person can learn to do when he is well paid. Oliver grins Felipe's word, a toothy smile. I never understand how to interpret toothy smile. Are we talking like... Or are we talking like crooked teeth spitting out in every direction? Like, you basically, like he bites down too hard, all of his teeth fall out. You flatter me, Sir Felipe, but you're right. Coin works wonders. Felipe chuckles at that. He produces a small flask from his pocket and takes a little sip. But you, Sophia, you disappoint me. I expected to see a functioning organization. But I'm told that what you have here is not a secret society, but a miserable rabble of the worst people in the city. Just look at the self-proclaimed priest Fuad. We are in Anazote, the hotbed of heresy and rebellious ideas. How come you aren't able to find skillful conspirators here? I need a nice little revolt that's easy to suppress. I need a network of spies to dig up dirt on anyone who may stand in our way. Is that too much to ask? You did this job perfectly well in Eterna. What's the matter, Sophia? Can't you do the same thing again? We also don't have, what's his name? I forget his name. The Archnean guy who is on our side. So Felipe, Brante and I are going out of our way to get more people in our ranks, but things are not looking too good for us right now. The province is a new overseer, citizens are hopeful, they expect change. So the only people who come to us are from the very bottom of life. This rabble is dangerous. They will ruin my plan and they will bring you and Brante to the gallows. And this time I won't be able to do anything for you. Get rid of them and find conspirators who can be trusted with real work. I have too many enemies here in Anazote. The local magistrate alone is a huge thorn in my side. You have to act faster. Time is of the essence. Or maybe you have more important things to do than serving the Empire. We are doing everything in our power, Sir Felipe. But in order to prepare for your plan, we must recruit as many people as possible. And that is what we are doing. Don't try my patience, Sophia. I said I'd get rid of the rabble, find real conspirators, carefully vet each and every one of them. Sophia lowers her head, unable to further argue with the powerful advisor. Felipe suddenly turns to you. Brante, you're the main recruiter. Why can't I side with Sophia? I'm not manipulative enough. Why are you only giving me 2 choices? Well, that's okay. Sophia's being a couple of wordy dirts. You readily answer you will follow Sir Felipe's orders. It is dangerous and stupid to recruit strangers without any vetting. You will make every effort to select only skilled and reliable conspirators, and this, of course, will bring down our trust with Sophia, and I could care less. You and Sophia made a mistake, but you will fix it. Sophia scoffs at that. Sir Elfaro, however, pats you on the shoulder. Well said, Brante. We'll do just that. As for you, Sophia, I don't suggest testing my patience any further. You're only one straw away from breaking the horse's back. Speaking of straws, I believe that your secret society still needs a name, right? The last straw will do just fine. It's cheap, grim, pompous, the lowborn ought to like it. Oliver, I'm leaving you in the care of our rebels. Show them how real secret chancellery agents get things done. Felipe downs the last of his flask and walks out of the print shop. Sophia follows him without saying a word. You are left alone with Oliver. He looks over you. We're gonna get along just fine, Brante. Don't you worry. Well, I couldn't do anything about that, so... That's fine. Things are still good. Spy network infiltration. Convert a network of spies and informants to determine secret chancellery. City of Anazote. Okay, well, how do I undo that? I don't want Felipe's reign. It does improve my willpower, though, which gives me, okay, this is okay. Things are bad. They can still be undone. But I have to improve my skills. Last straw is growing stronger by the day. More and more names are being added to your list of potential recruits. Oh, what are we doing different? Dress fancy tomorrow, Brante, but don't look too rich. We're going to a saloon. A gathering of young poets. Oh, no. They're all commoners, mostly new believers, so they think they aren't defying their lot by writing poetry. Oh, no. Gloria's gonna be there. This will be their first meeting ever. I say we take a gander. Who knows? This could be useful. No. Go to a small building in the very heart of the city. The first floor was once a tavern, but has been converted into a stage with benches for the audience. I'm probably going to lose favor with Gloria no matter what, but I've got to keep her safe. The place is noisy and crowded. Those who cannot be seated squeeze into the place between the benches. You and Sophia stand in the back corners, far away from each other. A young man, threadbare jacket, makes an announcement. Welcome to the first weekly gathering of the Anazote Poetry Society. The poets of all young men and women take turns walking up the stage benches to read one or two of their own creation. They look humble and shy at first, but they declaim their stanzas. Their voices ring with sudden strength and daring favor. The mighty giant with his head held high, his heavy tread, his trained and measured stride. He is an effigy of low-born life, with naught but chaff and rags and dust inside. By low-born, granted food and clothing. He is indeed a terrifying sight. Oh yeah. But look behind his eyes and you will find not grandeur nor renown, wow, but fear and loathing. Behold the azure skin, the bread contempt. The past long turned to ash, the blue blood bled. The majesty in flames, the mantles rent, ensconed in diamonds, white and rubies, and you can read it. The poems recited on stage display exceptional variety: rhymed couplets, blank verse, short stanzas, lengthy cantos, pathos-laden ballads, vulgar screeds, humorous epigrams, scathing tirades. But in each and every voice you hear the same pain. And now, a commoner, the word is like a brand. The twins themselves once told me to be silent. I want to scream, can't take this anymore. Misery around me knows no end. The gentlefolk just beat us and demean us. The young, the old, the poor, the sick, the tired. Wow. Every poem fills the room with loud applause. Every line resounds in people's hearts. This much is clear from their faces. Some can't hold back tears. With the zeal of preachers guiding their flock to their lot, these young poets chastise the ills of the worldly life with every word that they utter. This is gonna suck. Where is she? Just bring her up. Like it or not, the poetry hits home. Some of the poems are crafted so well you find yourself eager to read them. What a shame no print shop would agree to publish it. Later that... Well, about that... Later that night, you rejoin Sophia to discuss what you have seen. Never heard anything like that before. I'm used to nursery rhymes and bawdy drinking songs, but this is something else. You cannot help but nod. The meeting was like a sermon, and the poet's words hit hard and true as a sacramental lash. And the audience, you recognize the looks in their eyes. People look at Sophia just the same way every time she uses her magic. The thing is they have no magic, but they can see truth. And they talk about it so well you can't even stand it. Well, what can I say? I'm glad we went. Those kids could easily spark a riot with just a rhyme or two. The question is, what are we supposed to do with them? It's a good question indeed, a difficult one. Those young poets are at their strongest when they speak from their heart. Trying to tame their ardor would be like playing with fire. You could recruit them, but it would not be easy to use them. If you cannot keep them in check, one day they will inevitably incite a rebellion. Maybe it would be wiser to nip this in the bud and put an end to their society right now. Secret Chancellor could easily deal with them, but you could also report them to the prefecture. The could take care of them in no time, or maybe you could pass the case along to Father. It might do his career some good. Why can't I? How did I not get Gloria's secret? But... Sucks! No. We've got to keep him safe. You assure Sophia that your underground society could use gifted young men and women. They're still too young, so trusting it makes sense to recruit them. Okay, I'll let you handle this. This is not good. Next few weeks you oh no, did I just condemn her to death? For the next few weeks you diligently attend every single meeting of the Poetry Society. Once you become a regular, carefully in a straw hideout, you're potentially endowed eagerly join the ranks of society. They quickly become a cornerstone of your organization. Their voices. I don't understand how we haven't seen her yet, if she's here. Their poems are quoted more and more often by the last straw members. They are declaimed by young people in the squares and the streets. I can't take this anymore. What did I do? I got a -1. Right about recruiting them. They never cease to amaze me. They're so sincere it's infectious. Okay. I brought my silver tongue way up. Like, I'm gonna have no problems talking my way out of a situation, but I am in dangerous zones right now. I am in danger. Alright, so I brought the family to unity, which is awesome. But that sucks. Moment of respite. Your work for the day is finally done, so you've gotten used to the idea that peace can be distributed or disturbed at any moment. As you enter, Father walks down the stairs to greet you. He smiles happily and warmly. Bert, my dear son, you're spending much time at work. Look, you can barely stand. You need some rest. Please, stay at home with us for a while. Surely your work can wait. You've earned yourself a moment of respite. You consider his word for a moment. Have I earned any money yet? Overjoyed, Father takes your hand and leads you to the sitting room. You spend several days resting in the family home. Where your troubles are distant, your family is close to tell you their news, carefully share yours. You spend evenings together on the porch, just like the good old days, listening to Father's stories of family's history, sharing laughter over memories of childhood. How do I not know her secret yet. Like, how can I not know her secret? There's no place like home. Okay. Okay, good. Okay. All right. Oh, that's good. Yes! Okay, willpower's not an issue now, but I have no skills. I need something to allow me to build up some skills. Oh, yeah, I should probably read stuff. Two powerful lords have been struggling for power in Magra for over 2 years now. There's a new overseer, Gaius Tempest, who we think we like, cannot seem to rein in the obstinate spirit of Archduke Melanius. Okay, unwilling to accept that he is no longer overseer of Magra, the Archduke still stubbornly continues to assert his right to rule over the province. Most of the Magran gentry who swore allegiance to him generations ago remain loyal to him even now. Gaius Tempest has publicly demanded that the Archduke recognize the overseer's rule as legitimate. Oh, wait. Yeah, he's good. I think he's got a normal voice. I am the voice. I'm just going to read it. I'm going to read the voice of the will of the Empire Uther in the province of Magra. All lands, deeds, and titles notwithstanding, Archduke Melanius must obey his sovereign's will and heed his decree. I hereby extend to the Archduke an offer of peace. Should the Archduke cease his insubordination in his lands, deeds, title shall remain his own. Archduke's response to the overseer was openly defiant. Cool. Since the last days of your Magra has been... no, I'm not going to do the voice. Not right now. When the Magras belonged to the Melandian dynasty, we are part of the Empire, and we are the Empire's loyal servants. However, our dynasty will not stand for such intrusion upon our lawful rights and privileges. Never before has the Archduke been stripped of his own right to represent the Emperor's rule in his own province. So do not forget, Sir Overseer, that the highest noble families in Magra have sworn fealty to me alone. Neither the Archduke nor the Overseer will relent, but both are too powerful to be readily disposed of. The bad blood between the two Archneans has festered for too long, and the common people have begun to pay the price for their strife. Crap. Stripped of the power to oversee tax privileges, the Archduke Melanius has decided to impose his own levy upon the citizens and villages of Magra. The commoners are now forced to pay taxes twice, first to the Overseer and then to the Archduke. Well, that's lame. I mean, we do that in the States, but that's beside the point. This double burden is too much for the common people of Magra to bear. Many have refused the second tax outright as a lawless measure. The Imperial Legion, led by the young Dorius Auden, is ruthless. Eagerly and without mercy, the Legion soldiers collect the Archduke's dues in cities and villages alike. Okay. So things are rough. Okay, what can I do? I've got to build up some skills. Last year has been an ordeal for your family. The pains taken and noble by the sword, the close attention to their city's aristocracy, the squabbles between Stefan and Gloria. Tonight you, preoccupied father, has gathered back the entire empire, the entire family around the table in the backyard. The sun is almost set and there's a soft breeze, but instead of a meal in the open air, you are going to attend a family meeting. In the middle of the table, you see an open gilded box that's full of jewels. Archduke Melanius himself has bestowed this gift upon us. It's a surprise indeed. I thought you all had a right to know. Father unfolds a letter inside the box. We don't like him, though.
Sir Brante, I bestow this precious box on you and your family as a symbol of care with which I treat people of my province. Now, pray accept this gift and remember with whom the loyalty of the true nobles of Magra lies. Archduke Magra of Magra, Tarquinius of the Melanius.
Family stares in amazement at the jewels and sparkling in the last rays of sunshine. It's worth quite a fortune. But the Archduke is fully aware that I'm on the side of Prefect Elborn and Overseer Gaius Tempest. Could he really expect our loyalty to be bought so brazenly? On the other hand, the Archduke is not demanding anything of us, and our family has borne a lot of expenses recently.
Father is forcing you to side with Melanius? Who are we in comparison to the Archduke anyway? We must not anger him by refusing his gift. The jewels are certainly welcome. Were being shared with the best families in Anazote, they will pave the way
to the nobility of the sword. Mother shakes her head glumly. Robert, I have this feeling this gift bodes ill. It may be impertinent on my part, but I do not want our family to be indebted to the Archduke.
Certainly not. Accepting gifts from Melendez is infamous for oppressing the commoners and, robbing villagers, blind with his taxes and stuff, and, that's not good.
This isn't your decision, Gloria. It's a matter of the family's utter reputation.
Please don't stop bickering again. I ran out of brownies hours ago. Just let Burp say what he thinks we should do with the gift, 'cause I freaking worship Burp. When I'm not seeing the Toad God, when I'm totally stoned out of my mind.
You are the center of attention now. Does he sell the jewels? Oh, well, no, that's not good. Alright, I will be the deciding factor. We're going to decline the gift. And I'm sorry, Dad, but we can't. We've got to start standing firm. I've got to have as many strongholds as possible so I can undo the secret chancellery. Looking the family's patriarch sign in the eye, he said, such gift is not to be accepted. The Archduke will see it as an oath of allegiance to him. It would be better to provoke his anger than to fall into his trap. You ask him to send the box back at once. Well, I suppose you're right, Bump. It is far too dangerous. Not only for me, but for the entire family. I'll write to the Archduke. Bring me my quill.
It is your decision, Father, but please consider how much we stand to lose. We've got nothing. We spent pretty much the last of the money on Burb's shop, which apparently isn't seeing a penny so far. For what reason?
I know, me too. There are no jewels I would renounce. There are no jewels I would not renounce to keep you safe. Mother, Nathan, and Gloria cast careful looks at you. Even Stefan accepts father's decisions after some grumbling. Spend the rest of the night around the table, resting, conversing pleasantly, and amusing yourself. Stefan is probably only acting this way because of the unity that we brought together. How am I doing with Stefan again? He's got a distaste for me, but the family's still tied together fairly well. Spend the rest of the night around the table, resting, and a long while there's nothing casting a shadow over your home. Good. The Archduke does not deem to reply to your father's letter. No one expected otherwise. Did the Archduke count you among his enemies now, or has he forgotten about your existence? But what a wasted time guessing when you have a moment of peace and joy. Okay, whatever. There's only one disadvantage. You do not have a single coin tucked away in the family treasury. And our harmony is still great. My willpower...
Oh, yeah! Frick it! Can't be bought for crap!
That's exactly what I wanted, and I had no idea that would happen, so bring it the frick on. You and Sophia have accomplished a lot over the past year. The last straw now consists of half a dozen cells, knowing nothing about one another. You have several informers gathering rumors and news. Alright, it's time to start undoing some crap here. The ranks of the underground society include honest rebels eager to bring the empire down, as well as thieves and thugs willing to break any laws as long as they get paid. As more and more people join your insurgency, an insurgency within the insurgency or just the regular insurgency? Because if it's the regular insurgency, then crap! It will soon become impossible to conceal your existence. Okay? The last straw desperately needs a public figurehead, someone to act as patron of your secret society, someone who can justify your existence to the authorities. You choose Mayor Egmont. Interesting. He's a fortune and made a name for himself thanks to his silver mines, and now he's a leader of the Magna Lesser Quorum. Rumor has it he's eager to get in touch with someone from the underground. If there was ever a time to meet, it is now. Fortunately, you know people. You know people who know people, and soon enough, you arrange a meeting. An empty warehouse late at night. All the workers have gone home. A dim lamp is the only source of light in spacious facility. Can I talk to, like, one person and say, hey, there's a secret chancellery that is, like, threatening to destroy everything, and, like, get my own network going that's apart from Sophia? Because Sophia, I think, is too defeated to do anything. If we could embolden her, then she could come back, but right now she's just so defeated, I don't think that she's going to be any help. An empty warehouse late at night. All the workers have gone home. A dim lamp is the only source of light in spacious facility. The two of you are alone here, free from prying eyes. Up close, Egmont returns out of a broad-shouldered, middle-aged man in a pricey frock coat. He wears no jewelry, but...
Excuse me.
No jewelry, but his beard and mustache are well kept. Only the gray hair at his temples betray his age. He offers you a warm, rough hand, the calloused hand of a man who has had to work all of his life. You shake it readily. The industrialist offers you a seat at the nearby table.
Truth be told, young man, I know your family quite well. I had the honor to be introduced to your grandfather back in the day. Unfortunately, Sir Gregor Brante wasn't exactly delighted to meet me. But your father, he was a staunch supporter of Elborn. We've often seen eye to eye, he and I.
Oh, you are... Are you a poet just when you regularly talk now?
Let's see if you and I can find some common ground, too. I'll be frank with you. I know quite a bit about what you're up to here in Anazote. You've built yourself a functioning underground society, and you've done it very quickly, all without getting caught. I'd say you've got an eye for business. But tell me, why are you doing all of this? What is your goal? What are you trying to achieve? Please let me tell him the truth. Please be sincere with me. I am the last man who wants to see you reported to the secret chancellery. You're prepared for this question. Egmont listens carefully as you give him a short speech of the coming rebellion against the Empire for Anazote. Then in Margaret, when you're done, the industrialist lets out a sigh. Ambitious, determined, but utterly senseless.
Let's say you do manage to foment an uprising against the Archduke and the Overseer, even the Emperor himself. Well, what then?
What are your demands?
Who do you want to listen to them?
If you haven't negotiated and make a deal, then with whom will you do it? What are your terms, and what will your relationship with the Empire be like if your revolt succeeds? So far, Bump, I've heard no answers to these questions, and to be honest, I'm quite confident that you don't have any answers either. But fortunately for you, I do. There's also one self-evident fact I'd like to bring to your attention. Whenever someone discusses authority or power within the Empire, there is one thing that never seems to raise any doubt. Prefects and commanders, magistrates and overseers. They're always nobles. Any position of power, only for the nobles, landowners, always nobles. Who rules over Anazote? Overseer Tempest or Archduke Melanius? No one can say for sure these days. Either way, no matter who they are, nobles rule the city. But a city isn't a castle or a fortress. A city is more than the sum of its walls and buildings. A city is its people, commoners who work and trade and live here. I like this guy. I like him. He could be very useful. He could get me out. He could help get me out of this crap. It would take a long process, and I'd have to do some dirty work in order to get there. But I've got to keep him close. Egmont is the person that could help get me out of this crappy situation. There always have been and always will be more of us than nobles. We are the city, Brante. You've never been to a meeting of the Lesser Quorum, have you? I won't bore you with the details, but let me put it this way. It's the only place where the common estate has the same rights as the nobles. Sure enough, there's arguing, but there's contention. There's a fight every time we meet. But as we argue, as we contradict each other, we find a new way. One that takes everybody's interest into account. But unfortunately, right now, the Lesser Quorum only has the authority to discuss issues related to taxation in the province. But if you and I come to an agreement, this will change. I've spent most of my life making the idea of the Quorum a reality, and I swear to you, on my life, that it works. This is the only way to bring something new to the Empire, by giving the commoners and nobles the same power. Egmonta's shout... Oh, well, you could have said that earlier and I would have been shouting too. His eyes shine with excitement. He is utterly engrossed by his idea, and you feel he actually believes what he says. And here in Magra,
We have a chance. We had no way to do it in the past, back when Archduke Melanius was in charge, but now Gaius Tempest represents the Empire's authority in Magra. Tempest still can't find a way to share power with Melanius. He needs all the support he can get, and you and I, we can give him that support. And Burp. Can I call you Burp? It sounds like a belch, but... Are you aware of how Gaius Tempest ended up becoming Overseer of Magra? He was too progressive for the capital and his fellow Ocnians. He went too far in the attempts to make nobles and commoners equal under imperial law, and he was exiled to Magra for his troubles. And yet, Gaius Tempest has never abandoned the idea of making the estates equal. He was the one who supported the creation of the Lesser Quorum. He is well disposed toward lowly estate, and he tends to listen to reason. We can make him our ally. Your uprising could be the deciding factor. If we can manage to seize control of the city and hang on to it, if we can prove we're able to run Anazote, if the citizens show us their support, then we'll have a lot to offer the Overseer. Don't give me an option to where I can side with him instead of just blankly turning him over. Please give me that option. In return for making Anazote a free city, a city-state, if you will, governed by the Lesser Quorum, we'll recognize Gaius Tempest's authority in Magra and support him in his power struggle against the Archduke. If the nobles and commoners come to govern the city together, in just a few years, gosh, it will become obvious to the entire empire how advantageous this arrangement is. And then the old traditions will have no choice but to step aside and die a very painful and bloody death. I understand that things like this take time, but as you prepare for the revolt, I'll support your underground movement with as much power and funding at my disposal, as long as you say you'll walk towards this future with me. Mayor Egmont lets out an exhausted sigh. Delivering such a fervent speech is no easy task for a man of his age. And for a quiet moment you agree. Yes, you say this future is worth fighting for. Yes, the last straw will support Egmont's plan. You promise to spread his vision for the free city of Anazote, first among the rebels and throughout the city, starting immediately. We shake hands. Okay, I'm glad of that, but can I do something where I'm not going to get him just arrested? Once the conversation is over, you leave the warehouse and walk back through the dark streets of Anazote. You've made a promise, but what are you actually going to do? There's a kernel of truth in Mayor Egmont's words. The aged industrialist plan could actually work. There's no longer just a pointless revolt doomed to fail. Dangerous thoughts begin running through your mind. Woo! Oh, yeah! Oh, yes!
And of course, reporting it, of course, would end him. We're going to keep it secret. Pretty much at this point, everything that I do is dangerous. In your report to Felipe, you claim that Mayor Egmont was more careful than you expected, and your attempts to come to an agreement with him were merely unsuccessful. You claim the industrialist is putting money into the struggle for the commoners' rights, but cleverly disguises it as charity. In the end of the report, you assure Felipe that you will find a way for the secret chancellery to connect Egmont's actions to underground activities and the brewing revolt. However, you cannot do it right now.
Yes.
The silence feels more menacing than any threat. Okay, well... and our wealth increases! We have moderate means now. Okay, and what else? Make me a fighter. You join Egmont in a secret plot to start a rebellion in the city. Okay, good. An old friend. Night is falling over Anazote. How much longer am I gonna go? I'll go to the end of this thing. Night is falling over Anazote. Sifting heat gives way to an eagerly anticipated freshness. After a day of work, you stroll home at a leisurely pace. You turn down the street, you've noticed that you're a boy. Wait a second, who am I gonna meet? The remnants of the wooden fort. So much has changed since the days you used to play here with your little friends. 1. A tall figure in uniform of a Legion officer approaches you. You see the unruly brow, hair, and twinkle in his eye. It's Tomas. Yay, buddy! Well, now this is a surprise. Hi, Ben. Fancy running into you in the moment I'm back in town. I failed at my third tone. I can still only do the 2. I have brought shame to my family. Your childhood friend puts his arms around you. Our battalion got transferred here recently. We are under the command of the Magra Legion now. I'm keeping the peace and maintaining order in my very own province. Well now, why don't we catch up? Let me buy you dinner. Have a little chat and remember the old days. Tomas cuts himself short. You suddenly notice how much older he looks. His face has become sharper, rougher, and his eyes are filled with exhaustion rather than the usual mischievous sparkle. I should warn you though, Bump, I ain't the best company nowadays. I've managed to get myself some powerful enemies already. I'm a friend that could taint your good name, so prefer to not be seen with me. Then, well, I understand. A smile on his face starts to say, I'm gonna have dinner with him. There's no way I would walk away. No, there's no way I would miss a chance. I was just curious to see, like, what it would have taken. But it doesn't matter, because I would do this anyways. You give Tomas your hand, you shake hands firmly. Say, we haven't forgotten your old friend, Brante. That's the way it ought to be. Welcome on then. You go to the tavern, reminiscing about your childhood antics on these very streets along the way. Choose a table in the far corner by the tavern. Tomas orders a bottle of good wine and some food. Talk about your latest case. About your first years back in Anazote, you share family news, your quest to become nobles of the sword, the quarrels between your elder brother and sister, your mother's health. Tomas nods with concern. Sounds like you have some tough family times. Your family has always been different. Mine too, on the other hand, is the same as it ever was. My pa is always in the workshop and my ma's always doing chores, but look at me. I came home a service-class nobleman, although it doesn't bring me much joy anymore. Tomas is suddenly grim. You ask your old friend to share his troubles with you. He quickly glances around the room and lowers his voice. Well, I'm captain in the Magran Legion now, and who's our commander? His Excellency Dorius Otton. That's right. I serve under the very same Archnean whose toes I stepped on back in Eterna, and you better believe he remembers me. I'm afraid things are gonna end real bad. Real bad, but hey, I figured it out somehow. Don't trouble yourself over it. Apart from that, well, it's the usual service. We impose orders in uppity towns and villages, protect the province, that sort of thing, and we run drills all day long. Obviously, if you knew how sick I am of them barracks bump, I thought about starting a family. My ma keeps telling me to find a nice girl to marry. She says it's high time I got hitched. I did it, bump. I hit the third tone. It is completely dark and you are still talking. Finally, Tomas remembers that his parents are waiting for him. You get up from the table, leaving some dirty dishes and quite a few empty bottles behind. Wow. So we just got hammered. On your way out, you catch a glimpse of a nondescript figure following you to the door. As you walk alongside Tomas through your own neighborhood, keep glancing over your shoulder, but the shadow that was following you has disappeared. You reach the street and stop for a while in the semi-darkness between your family's home, just as you used to all those years ago. Bye, Brante. I hardly ever come to Anazote these days. Our battalion is always on march all over the province. But twins willing, we will see each other again real soon. Yay! That's so good. And I'm glad I'm building up that relationship because a military commander and who is now a nobleman, this is a good thing. You advise your friend to safeguard his every life. And my reputation is disgraced. I don't give a crap. But I am freaking prepared for anything. Holy crap! The gunpowder plot. You're sitting on a solitary bench in a gazebo in the Archduke's garden. I'm actually going to stop here for right now. Things are going pretty good at the moment. So I think, we're just going to hold off and we'll end the episode here and we'll see you guys later.